Keep showing up. If no one invests in you, invest in yourself. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself. Even if you don't see the results right away, keep showing up until you do see the results. Even if you don't see the results for a very, very long time, keep showing up.
All right, dude. Thanks again for coming on, man.
No problem. The B team.
I know you were a little bit last minute, but I was like, dude, John would be awesome for this show. And I'm new to this podcast, a little newer, and just trying to find my ways and figure out what people that I can have on, and just trying to school a little bit of everything.
Cool.
Right? A little bit of talk a little bit about everything. You're like a huge part of Delco, man. Everybody loves you. I love you for doing what you do, and you help out a lot of families. So let me get like your side of the Delco group, right?
Yep.
Some people know what it is, some people don't.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a good place to start, actually.
Yeah.
So the Delco Group is different than Selling Delco, right? Selling Delco is the brand, all the stuff that you see with the the videos and all that. That's the real estate company, right? That's what we do. That's me, Mike, Anthony, our team. Like that's our thing, right? We've had that since 2008. Around 2018 ish, we're rocking, man. Like selling a ton of properties, busy as could be. Just kind of getting that feeling, like I think life was anything I could have wanted it to be at that point. It felt like, at least. But like, as cheesy as it sounds, kind of felt like something was missing, right? Couldn't quite wrap my head around it. Shortest version of the story was that somebody, Dan Emerson, asked us to get involved with a toy drive that he's pretty involved in, that he had actually just started with a couple other people.
Dave's brother?
No, they're not. They might be cousins, but they're not.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't think they're related.
I see Dave at the gym.
Yeah. So Dan, he got us involved and was like, look, dude, I want you to help. We did it. He paid us a really good compliment, but the compliment kind of stuck with me that like we're missing something. There's a little bit more. Went to Mike, who's my business partner, who's my cousin, first cousin. We're basically like brothers, and was like, look, man, I want to do this. I want to start a nonprofit, volunteer only, like all the things we do on the side. I want to bring them to the light. Like I want to get people, the community, really involved in it. Yeah. And he goes, all right, call Frank. Because Frank will get in front of the camera and talk, and so
and he knows a shit ton of people. He's in front of how many, he sells how many cars,
and he's not afraid to ask for anything. So immediately called Frank, talking about the golf. He was like, I'm in, and then we went out and found at the time 8 other people that were kind of through different parts of the county. Most of those guys didn't know each other, but every one of them said yes.
Right
on the drop of a hat. Yeah. Like we didn't have a full vision of what we wanted to do. And now it's become, look, I guess it's kind of got that Make-A-Wish vibe. Yeah, but definitely. There's plenty of other things that we do within the county that people probably don't even see. But it's all, where we're 15 volunteers, their families, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever they got going on, and friends and businesses like you guys, like that's where it's grown to, is now it's not, we're the board, but the people that are involved in it are all the people that come to our events and donate and do all that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, like, it feels good to give back. Yep. It really does. And, until you actually make some money and, like, give that money away, or you give this gifts away, or you help a family out that is in need, it really does feel good. Yeah. Like, it feels amazing.
Yeah, it's making an impact, right? Like, can you make a difference for somebody? And, for us, we didn't know what we wanted to do. Artie Earl, who's a part of our group, he passed away, unfortunately, but he had been through some stuff. And when we all first met, he had brought up an instance that was kind of similar to what a lot of the people that we deal with go through. And he was like, look, in a moment where everything's bad, right? You're going through some kind of terrible situation. You're not thinking about living. You're thinking about like survival. Like it's like, and you get caught into a pretty rough spot there. And he's like, look, we did something for him on the side that no one knew about. And he was like, look, man, that gave me a moment where I felt like I could live guilt-free for even a week or a couple days. And it was amazing. And that's what we really started to build around. Yeah. He was kind of like the front runner in that idea. And that's a big thing for us now.
It's amazing. I mean, how far you guys have came. And, looking back, did you ever think that you would be where you're at today? Right? Like,
I mean, we were going to fund it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, we could get our own money.
Which, if you have enough guys and everybody throws in, that's
what we thought.
And start out.
Then it was just like, we did one event, and it was like everybody was in. Like
what was the first event?
The first Delco Open.
That was the first golf outing? Mm-hmm. I can't remember if I was at that one.
I think you guys were at the second one.
We were at the second one.
Because you guys been with us ever since that second one.
Yeah.
And and you guys have seen it. You can't get into that outing. The only way you get in is
Yeah.
to be a sponsor now. And we would have to kick another sponsor out essentially to get you
Yeah.
in. But we don't want to make it any bigger. Like,
Yeah.
we have a really good group of people. The people that donate to us, for the most part, are people that we really want to be associated with, and then they know what we're doing with the money. So it's funny because when we first started doing it, right, it was like, all right, how do we grow this thing? How do we get people behind it? And Frank and I are both, we're not afraid to get in front of the camera, right? So it was like,
I personally am a little bit like I'm trying. Yeah. Noah's basically coached me to get in front of the camera more. I was never big in front of the camera, but that's kind of what you need to do nowadays.
Well, it's where the market
how you
is,
get in
right?
front of
Like,
people.
And you can do it at scale, right?
Yeah.
So, when Frank and I first talked, we're like, all right, hey, in the beginning, we're going to face this, man. Like, we're going to be the face of it. We're going to be out there. We're going to put our names behind it. We're going to do everything we can to let people know what we're doing. And it's funny because we get a lot of people now that are like, yeah, you guys, you're always sharing. Like, there's always going to be those negative, right?
Yeah,
but there's the people that kind of say that, like, yeah, well, we see that you're doing it. And I'm like, you don't see that when we do that and we put out there what we did for somebody, that 10 other people reach out to us and go, hey, we want to donate to this.
Yeah.
And now we can help 5 more families or 3 more people going through something like that. So yeah, we do that so that it promotes and we don't have to go hire a company to do anything. We're just doing our thing.
You're doing it.
And showing people what we're doing. And our investors or our donors, people that are part of our group, we consider that. You guys are part of that. We consider you guys that. They get to see it. You've been there. Like, you've got to come to one of the deliveries and do that. We want those people to be part of it, right? Because how many times you get hit up for a check,
but you don't know where it goes.
You don't hear anything again for how long. I'm a business owner. I get hit up for a check constantly, and the next time I get hit up is for the next check, right? We wanted to be able to say, hey, we're hitting you up for a check. That's fine, but you're part of this, and we want to bring you into that and let you see we're making an impact in the community.
Like I said, it feels better just stroking that check, knowing that you're going to present someone with a life-changing, a vacation or just any little thing.
I can't tell you how many times, unfortunately, we've sent people away on their bucket list trip before whatever happened next. And it's tough to think about from one regard, but I got stopped at an Eagles game.
They just know who you are just from your commercials.
But the guy goes, dude, he's like, you helped my aunt. I'm like, when? He's like, well, when you guys first started. So you guys sent her on this trip, and unfortunately she passed away. And he's like, she's talked about that trip until the week she passed away. Like, it was so much fun for her, So it's like, hey, we were able to provide something special for somebody there. And we've, God, like, for our group now, that's happened a couple, maybe 100 times a year that we're able to do something like that, which is huge.
How many different events do you try and hold? Because first and foremost, I love every single event that I'm invited to or that we go to, right? So like the Delco outing is one of my favorite days.
It's a fun one, man.
It's one of my favorite days. I'm so glad that you do it like earlier in the season too, because if you did it later in the season, it's
tough. Yeah, everybody's got something.
Everyone's got something to do. But that's like one of my favorite days I look forward to now, going to the Delco outing. And like this year, I'm like, man, do I drink? Do I just take it easy? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna drink. It's just a fun day. And like, how many other events do you do? I've been to the one at the Shore.
Yeah. So that's in conjunction with the Eagles, with the Eagles Autism Foundation. And the Eagles themselves. So Frank, Mike, myself, we have tickets for ourselves down there with along with Joe, one of our good friends of ours. And they have embraced what we do, man. Like, when they heard what we do from a charity perspective, I've never gotten, like, if it's to raise money for that or for the charity itself, they're always a yes for us. So Brent
Selleck was real big into the autism, and he did something in Wildwood one year, and I donated some money to that. Ended up winning a signed jersey by him when I was down there. I'm like, I could have just got this from you when you shot the commercial at my house. But that felt great. It felt great to cut that $1,000 check.
So Ryan Hammond, who runs that, she grew up in our neighborhood. We're Fallcroft guys.
Okay.
Ryan grew up like, a couple houses up from my grandparents.
Does she go to the Delco?
She comes in some of our stuff. Yeah. So but we're friendly for years. We've been friends, and we, matter of fact, my goddaughter's her niece, right? So like we're close in that regard. And, that's important to them. So for us, it was like, all right, let's do something with them. So we do that. We do make a little bit for the charity, for Delco Group on that, but we try to be able to do a nice donation to Eagles Autism, because they're such a huge pivotal piece for us. The Delco Open is our only true fundraiser that we do every year.
Major fundraiser.
And then other things that we raise money on with the charity is, we'll run different, like, ticket events, like where we say, hey, we're raffling this off or raffling off.
Yep.
People are so like the amount of support we receive from the community for
Yeah.
that is tremendous.
I try and always jump in on one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. When
you
we
know,
see the
raffles.
names, we're like, oh,
I try and
it's a lot of the
always jump
same
in.
people.
And I ended up winning the Eagles tickets one year. Yeah, which was amazing. That was such a fun time. I brought my brother along with me, but it definitely feels good to give back. And I feel like you guys are doing an amazing job. And just like with your social media presence now, like just it's so genius of you to just go into like the nearest restaurant and do a review on their food that's local to a house that you're selling.
Yeah.
Like that's genius. Nobody does that. Nobody that I know that I've seen do it.
We're having fun with it, man.
And
like
you have fun with it.
You know, my thing on that is, and it's funny, the bigger it's getting, you know, look, there's always going to be haters of everything we do. I don't really pay too much behind them.
Not to cut you off, I want to go back to
ahead.
that because I have some haters too.
Yep.
And there's a couple people since I started this, I don't even talk to because they're just hating on me. And I don't care what that's one thing that the more I focus on someone else, the less work I actually can get done.
Yeah.
I'm doing this just because it feels good to have these conversations with people that I know that maybe I haven't seen in a while, to give some clients and to give some new clients or new customers a little bit of feedback on certain products. So it's cool and it's fun. It's just fun to just sit here and bullshit and talk back and forth.
It's good networking and you know, listen, it's very rare you'll be in a room full of people that are really successful that are hating on anybody. You know, my most successful friends they're never hating on anybody.
They're not hating.
They're too busy. They can't think about
they don't care.
They're busy thinking about the next thing, you know. So if you're sitting at home hating on somebody, it's probably a you problem. But it's funny because
too much screen time.
Yeah, we catch a little bit of it now with the you know, the food stuff or the restaurant reviews, and it's like, you know, you do it for this reason, you do it for that reason. Here's the reason I do it, and I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, one, look, selfishly, we want to be the experts in Delaware County. We want to know everything about Delaware County. We always have been that, right? So, yeah, I want to be able to tell you where the best pizza spot is, or where to get the best drink, or where the best bar is, or where the best this or that is, right? Why wouldn't I want it? Why wouldn't you want your agent or the person that you're representing you in Delaware County to know everything about the county? So, yeah, we do it from marketing
Not only
perspective.
that, if they're out of town and they're buying a house, maybe they want to see like what the best cheesesteak spot is
who's
near
the expert,
their house.
Right? Like, so we know the community, man. Like, we're going to do that. The other thing, and you can relate to this as well as anybody, is, dude, I'm a small business. Like, I'm a small business and I get my business from community support. That's where it comes from. It comes from people that support my small community or that support our business.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I go support local small businesses in the county and try to build them up? It's literally, I'm just paying it back, man. Like, it's for, you know, now we're lucky enough to be almost 20 years running the real estate team. That's all. We're 98% referral.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting our business from people we know or people from this
Organic leads.
community. Why wouldn't I want to go out and say, hey, check this restaurant out, you know, or check this out. Look, when I go now, I'm getting everybody's best shot, right? I am. Like, it's their best thing that they got. It's their best, you know, so most of the time, if they see me come in the door, I know they're probably making the best thing. But why wouldn't I want to try to blow them up and get them a little more business, even if it's only for a short period of time?
A little bit more exposure, and then you're having fun with it too. And you
having a blast.
I'm sure you're gaining a little bit more weight.
I mean, bro, like,
right?
I'm trying to do 2 a days at the gym now, just to stay the same weight.
Yeah. So, you know, going back on those kind of hater vibes, I had, you know, Little Snuff, Joe Perry. He's a great dude.
Yep.
I met him two years ago now, Noah. I think he said we were one of his first like paid commercials. I paid him to come out.
Yep.
You know, papered him up a little bit, but you know, giving back to a small community. And his best friend is married to my cousin, so I kind of put two and two together and just figured it out. But like the amount of people that hate on this dude, and for what? Like, if you don't know him and he's doing well,
is he bothering you? Like,
pat him, like give him a high five, or you know, give him a good review. Like who cares what the guy's doing, right? Like he's doing great for himself, and he's blowing up. He's doing great. He's doing his thing. Yeah. Leave him alone. You know what I mean?
It's fun.
There's too many people out there just with the negative comments.
It's just, and that's the nature. You know, every once in a while I'll mix it up a little bit. I'll have a little fun with them. If I see someone, if I'm feeling on a Thursday night, I'm a little bored. I'm like, let's dance. You want to dance? Because guess what? I don't make fun of people on social media. If I did, you know, you'd know.
I always try.
I come from a town where we bust balls with the best of them. So if you want to dance, we can dance. I'm gonna win that one.
But you know, and that's one thing. Like me, I never go back and forth on Facebook. I'm just not that dude. I'm not gonna sit on Facebook all day and just going back and forth with somebody who's staying in their mom's 2-bedroom house. Right? You know, I'm just not gonna do it. You know, let's take it back just a little bit. Like, I don't know much about you. Where did you grow up? Like, What school did you go
Yep.
to
So
back in the day?
I grew up in Fallcroft. Went to like St. Gabe's Parish in Norwood growing up.
Okay.
And then Bonner.
Bonner.
After I played football growing up since I was a little kid.
I heard you
I'm
were a
big
great football
guy.
player.
I like to think maybe I was at one point, but
Quarterback, right?
yeah. So after Bonner, I went and played at Albright College, where it was just like perfect opportunity, perfect time, perfect place with the perfect set of guys around me, and was fortunate enough to have some success there. Played some stuff afterwards, kind of chased that dream, and that's what led me into real estate. Was I was chasing the football dream, because the door started to open up that I thought never in a million years, being a small kid or kid from a small school, would get that opportunity. But those calls continued to come up until probably my mid-20s, and I was doing real estate. Different offers, different opportunities, things that just kind of like would fizzle out here, or the door might open there and then close. That's a tough game.
You got to be like
right there.
one out of what, 1,000.
And when you get in the room with the upper echelon, like it's you be in a room with 5 quarterbacks and you're like, all right, every dude in this room could be on a team right now. It's just a matter of, were they at the right place, or do they know the right person, or do they you get that far in, and the level of talent is
just unreal.
It's pretty sick. So it was, look, learning experience. Like, I learned and grew more in those couple of years than I probably ever could have.
It probably taught you a little bit about structure and kind of the way of life too. Like, that's why I loved wrestling so much. I mean, I was never the best football player. I was never had the size to do it. But wrestling, I was never the best wrestler. But it was like, hey, you're gonna shut your mouth and run these 2 miles before practice. And you're like, what? And then and by the way, you're gonna do buddy carries too, where you have guys on your back and you're just running up and down the steps. And it's like, that taught me structure. Like basically obeying your coach and not talking back. And it's kind of like that military kind of structure that I wanted to go into military, but I just had my son when I was 18. So I was like, what? I don't want to leave him and go into military. Let me just crack down and start my business. But I mean, football was, I love football. I just was never had the size.
So for me, football and look, wrestling, I respect the hell out of guys that can wrestle. Like, it's just a hard-nosed, gritty sport, and you're out there by yourself. You got no help.
No help.
Football, ultimate team sport. For me, like, look, it taught me every lesson in life. It really did. And the biggest lesson, if I'm being like real honest, is failure. Like, it taught me how to fail.
How to fail.
Like, I look back now as an adult with maybe after you have kids and you kind of get a different perspective in life, and I can look back and really appreciate some of the things I was able to accomplish, which were really, like, at the time, I couldn't grasp my head around how big they were. Like, there were things that I was like, wow. Like, you look back and like, holy shit. Like, I was able to be part of that.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough I got inducted into my college Hall of Fame. Like just little things that were just, so unique and cool. But, got up until I was probably in my mid-30s, and still part of me to this day, I look at my career as a failure. Like, I wanted to play at the highest level. I felt like I was good enough. I was there. It didn't happen. It's like, you have to learn how to take that failure and turn it into something at some point, or let it own you forever. And when I was in my mid-20s, it was owning me for a minute. And then real estate saved me. Like, Mike, who's my cousin, older brother, business partner, like, he's my guy. He was the one that was like, we had a long, it was right around the time where I was kind of letting that dream go, and I didn't know where I was going in life. And I'd been doing real estate for 4 or 5 years. I was doing really well.
Was that right after college?
I was 25 at this point.
Okay.
And I played a little bit. I was doing some different things. I had a contract lined up in Canada that was like a done deal, and then it fell through, and my daughter was being born all at the same time. And Mike came to me one day. He's like, yo, dude, like, you need to commit to this. Like, commit. Stop being a pussy. Like,
just commit.
And, like, be a dude and actually put your, all of it in, and give it a year and see how we do.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, I got something new to dive into. Like, I had something new to kind of.
I know my son calls me today at 12 o'clock from Malvern Prep. I made him go to wrestling camp this week.
Okay. All right.
And it's 8:30 start to 3 o'clock.
Yep.
And he's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't push him that hard. But like this year, I pushed him a little bit harder. This is his 3rd year wrestling, and he's pretty good. He went 24 and 24.
That's awesome.
I mean, the kid wrestled 48 matches.
Yeah.
Like, he's a
a
little hammer. But he doesn't want to do football this year. And I'm like, come on. And I was I saw I was coaching, and it kind of just needed a break from coaching.
Yep.
And I just, I got so much work
a lot.
going on. I got
Yeah.
a lot of moving parts with the businesses this year. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just step back from coaching.
Yep.
I wasn't the best either. So I'll be the first to admit it, and it's a full-time job.
Only a good coach can admit they're not the best coach. So you're at least a good coach.
I'm decent. I'm good with the kids, right? I've raised a lot of kids. But he calls me kind of like crying. He's like, Dad, I don't want to go tomorrow. I'm like, no, you're going tomorrow. It's a 3-day camp. I already paid for it. I'm like, you're not quitting. And the head coach from Malvern, Nate Lauder, he's like, yeah, they just ran a mile, a full mile. And he's never ran a full mile in his life. And he's like, yeah, we just ran a full mile at 9 o'clock in the morning. So and then they're doing workouts all day long. So he broke for lunch. He called me. I'm like, I didn't even know my wife gave him his phone. But I guess she just wanted to give it to him. Right. And he's like, can I leave? Can Mom come pick me up? I'm like, no, absolutely not.
You're riding this out.
I'm like, you're riding it out. I said, look, we're going down to shore Wednesday afternoon. If you make it through these 2 days, then you can take off on Wednesday. Yeah. And he's like, okay. So I'm like, hard work pays off, son. Like you need to dig and grind. Like nobody's going to give you anything. And guess what? Come next season, because this season he's like, Dad, I suck. I'm like, no, you're just wrestling better kids. Yeah. You're 9 years old. You're stepping up to that next level. You gained 10 pounds over last winter. Like you're stepping up to these bigger and better kids. And these kids have been wrestling since they were 4 years old. You got to just go out there and kill it every single day. But I had a proud dad moment this year. He won first place at ICWL. And he wrestled one of the best matches I've ever seen him wrestle. Awesome. And like you said, it's him and the other kid. They were 0-0 going into overtime and a takedown wins. And the kid, my son, just had a great defensive headlock, which I hate him doing a headlock because good kids can lock and roll through. Okay. And he just took the kid down. It was like the best moment that I've seen in his wrestling career. So yeah, he's a little hammer, but again, it goes back to like, discipline and I mean, Malvern's a hard camp. You're not going to take it easy over there. They don't stop.
That's not day camp. That's a workout.
That's a whole, So we go 2 nights a week at Media Youth Wrestling and then 2 nights a week at Malvern. So during the season, he's 4 nights a week wrestling.
So he's working.
But Malvern is like night and day to like our youth program. It's just nonstop, 2 hours
really
straight.
Things about their program.
They run an awesome program.
I got a couple kids that I coached that have gone there or are going there.
Yeah, Muffin.
They're tough kids.
I think Muffin was BYC.
Little Lombardo's up there. He's a stud.
McLaughlin. They call him Muffin.
I don't.
You know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, he wrestles BYC, but he plays football for Rose Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had I forgot what Rocco Lombardo's up there.
Rocco. Yeah, Rocco's a beast.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
He's a BYC kid.
He puts player. Jackson on his ass.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Their whole family's tough.
Their whole family's a tough crowd. So getting into real estate, like did you ever think going to college that you were going in that direction? I mean, like what was your goal if you couldn't what was your
I thought I was gonna be a cop.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be in like state police or something of that
That's nature. Your brother's
my brother's cop. I've probably been the worst cop of all time. Like I probably would have been terrible.
Like, all right, just go.
You're like wasn't and like, he's a fantastic cop. I mean, he was built for it. Just I think that's what I thought I was going to do. I had a couple of role models that were in that field growing up. So I thought like, all right, that's what I'll do. And the real estate thing, matter of fact, I needed a job. Mike, it's my, like I said, cousin. I was like, yo, do I need a job? I'm doing this football thing, but I need some extra money to be able to travel. I'm going all over the country. I'm everywhere, like every other week.
Something that wasn't full time that you could kind of just fill in here and there.
I was working at my mom used to run Little Flower Manor Nursing Home, so I was kind of like they had like a part time gig for me there. But I needed like something that was starting to enter the professional world. And he got me at the county. He said, I can get you in at the county. I know somebody there. He started out working at the county. And like Delaware County, like through the municipal stuff, like the court and stuff like that.
Yeah, my mom, she worked there. Yeah, she worked there for 23 years at domestic relations. She was a supervisor, so she would lock up deadbeat dads. Okay. So, like when I had my first kid, she's like, "You better make sure you pay this. If not, you're done. I haven't missed a payment since." Right? Because at one time I was like a little behind, and they're like, "They'll take your license.
She'll be the one calling for you."
Yeah, and then she was the one. Yeah, she was the one that would have had to go lock my ass up. Hilarious. So, but I haven't missed a payment. But yeah.
So he
was a probation officer.
Yeah, that's how he started, and he got me in with the juvenile probation center, and I went in for the interview. I was going to get the job. I started looking at the hours and the pay and everything else, and I'm like, I just wasn't able to make it work. Like, and walking through the courthouse, some dude, and I said, he goes, "How'd you get in here? It's really hard to get in." I said, my cousin got me in. He said, "Who's your cousin?" I said, "Mike Mahoney." He goes, Yeah, we love Mike here. He used to work here and then he quit. He's killing it selling real estate. And I didn't hear one thing anybody said to me the rest of the day. I walked through that thing, finished my interview. The guy goes, "You got the job coming
Yeah.
Monday?" I went, "Okay." I called Mike. I'm like, "I got the job." He goes, "That's awesome. When do you start?" I was like, "Never. Why don't I come work with you?" And he was like, "Dude, let's do it."
Yeah.
So it started as I was, that was actually perfect because I was able to go do whatever. And he supported me fully in the football thing. He was a football guy, still is. We coached together.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look, whatever you got to do, go do it. Basically, you can be my bitch in the meantime." So I ran around. And my first year in the business, I think I sold like 32 houses.
Really?
It was like,
Jesus.
the average in our business right now, the average realtor in the MLS sells less than 4 a year.
Yeah, that's
So my
crazy.
first year in, I think I did 31 or 32 just chasing his scraps,
Yeah.
and it was like, so a couple of years in, right around when we had that conversation, he was like, "Look, man, if we're going to do this together, you got to be all in. Like, you can't." I wasn't back then, which is kind of funny now when you look at it. I didn't like marketing. I didn't want to brand myself. When we were going out, I didn't want to talk real estate with anybody. I was like, I thought it was kind of nerdy,
Yeah.
which it is. But now it's like,
On the flip side,
I'm complete opposite.
It's great
now.
money too.
Yeah.
On the flip side, it's like, hey, once you saw those couple houses close, and I guess you guys work off like a commission,
Yeah,
or
you work off commission.
you work off commission, and
Yeah.
you split commission with some, like at that time,
Yeah,
probably splitting with Mike.
And
Yeah.
back then you split it with your brokerage, like
brokerage,
a lot of money with your brokerage. So it's funny because when I first met the broker that hired, he was, I was going to get hired no matter what. But when I first met him, I said his name is Bill Smith, and he's one of the more influential. Like, he's a guy that's like a role model, or was a role model or a mentor for me in my life. And we sit down for a meeting, and I go, I was wearing suits, probably last time I wore a suit. I was like, "How much do I make?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "How much do I make?" He goes, "Nothing." I'm like, "Huh?"
You don't
He
have
goes,
a salary.
He goes, "You can make this, or you can make this." And I was like,
this.
"All right, well, who makes that?" And he goes, "The guys that work harder than everybody else." I'm
Yeah.
like, "That I can rock with." Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough too, because like I have guys that sell work for me, but they work off commission and a base pay.
Yep.
And in order to get them in the door, especially like
Gotta base.
my main guys, you got to bump that base up. But guess what? If in the winter, or if they're not selling, because whether or not they're not a good salesperson, or they are, but it's just that time of the year.
Yep.
Like, we hit that fuel crisis where it was like a lot of the smaller sales just plummeted. Like,
Yep.
middle class people aren't really spending that much money right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the war or just the fuel prices, but a lot of things going on outside of here, and that's just really tough. So, but the wealthy people are spending money.
Yep.
So, but it's tough to like, and I love the commissions. I wish I could just pay all the sales guys just like a heavy commission.
Yep.
But then, someone else comes along and says, "Hey, I'll offer you a base."
Yeah.
And then they just roll.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's tough, but I do like the commission side for the real estate, because if you're a hungry dog, you can go out there and just sell as much as you can. You just got to have the leads too. But
it goes back to the athlete piece, right? Like, are you willing to outwork everybody? Are you willing to put more effort and time in than anybody else? And then for us, it's like, are you willing to be more creative, right? So that leads to all the marketing and the different things that we're doing there, because we got to be different. Like, if we're not different, then what's the point in using us?
Were you laying in bed one night and you were like, "Dude, I just need to be on camera more"? Or was it like somebody that just pushed you to want to be on camera more? I mean, for me, it's like I seen a couple other landscapers, hardscapers, pool guys doing things. And it's like, for me, I would lay in bed and catch it on Facebook. And I'm like, damn, we need to do that, because we need to get to that next level. Was it like that for you?
So 2010, right around when I had that conversation with Mike, was like, all right, we got to lean in. Like, we got like this.
That's right after 2008, where it was like the worst year ever.
And in a bad way. And this is right around that same time with the football thing starting to completely wrap. And it's like, all right, what are you gonna do? Like, what's next year? I meet with this guy, he's a marketing guy, and he goes, "Look, man, I spent a half hour with you." He goes, "Get in front of a camera tomorrow." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You got something there. Just get in front of a camera tomorrow and don't stop. Like, just do it tomorrow." And I was like, this guy was like so convicted, and all right, he's living in this $1 million house. Seemed like he knew what he was talking about. I went home, hooked the camera up, and started talking. And I got 2 deals right away.
Really?
Back in 2010, right? And then I stopped doing videos. The room was like, "Yo, keep doing this." And I was like, "Well, maybe I should do this." And we were busy. We got busy as hell then. But I looked back at one point, was like, man, I'm missing on that. So, around 2017 or whatever it was, somewhere in that range, we were doing a lot of other stuff that was all really working, right? But I remember talking to Mike, I'm like, yo, dude, we need to be in front of a camera like a lot. And he's like, all right, like it's not his favorite thing to do. He's great in front of a camera. It's just not his favorite
He is
thing
pretty
to
good,
do.
yeah.
He's like, look, he's been, I guess time will be determined on this, but the ultimate business partner in the world of, I call Mike right now. I'm like, yo, I have an idea. We're going to do this. He's like, all right, you believe in it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, then let's fucking go.
Let's
like,
go.
If I say I'm in, he's in.
That
And same
feels
with him.
good. It's almost
Yeah.
like your buddy in the weight room who's spotting
Yeah,
you
like
that
he's
is
like,
like,
let's
dude,
go.
let's
Yeah.
throw up 300. And you're like, and then he's just egging you on to do it. That's kind of,
Yep.
yeah. I don't have like anybody like that pushing me behind me. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like a psycho. I just keep thinking
Just
and
something
thinking
else
and
going.
just
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
I mean, I'll text Noah, poor Noah. I text Noah at like 9 o'clock at night sometimes. He's probably like, oh, this guy. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm like, hey, we need to do this, this, and this. But he pushed me to get on camera, and he's just like, dude, we need to get on more and more and more and more. But I'm still kind of that camera shy type of guy. But like my son's killing it because
Yeah.
he's a young kid, good looking kid. He's
yeah.
not afraid to jump in and
Yep.
be on camera. And he gets a good, he gets some good
You see that.
Yeah.
And look, you don't know what that could potentially do. So
For him down the
For
road.
me, we always saw, our people always have loved the video. So we started really hitting it heavy in like 16. And people were like, dude, do more, do more. And we should have just went all in back then. And we didn't, but we kept trickling. And then it was one day, it was like me and Frank, Frank and I are like, that's the guy I bounce ideas off more than anybody, right? Like we're sitting there shooting the shit one day and it's probably 3 a.m. We're solving world problems at one of our bars. And he's like, yo, dude, like, why aren't you all the time? Like, he's like, dude, just be in front of a camera all day. And we're not there just yet, but like, it's a lot, and
you need a full-time camera crew just to follow you around all day.
But we're seeing it where it's, it's making such a difference. And look, for us, like you asked, like, where'd the idea come from? So I told you the story about 2010. I get in front of a camera, like no one was doing that back then. Did it, got business, stopped paying attention. A couple years ago, I'd always highlighted businesses. As soon as I got in front of a camera, I said, I want to highlight businesses. And Mike said, why are we doing this exactly? And I explained to him, I said, dude, A, it positions us as the expert in the county. B, it helps other small businesses. C, it builds our network, right? Mm-hmm. This is why I want to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. He goes, all right, I'm in. Like, let's do it. Like everything else. So we started doing that back then. Fast forward 18, 19, somewhere in that range. I'm listing a property. It might have been, actually, it's probably after COVID. I'm listing a property, and it was not the most exciting property in the world. It was near Imperial Pizza. I went over, grabbed Imperial Pizza, shot the video, ate a slice of Imperial Pizza, said something about how Imperial was the Allen Iverson of pizzas or whatever, best pound for pound pizza in the world. And below, like phone messages, text messages, people like, yo, dude, the Imperial Pizza thing's hilarious. In front of the house, I love it. All right, do another food one. People are like, love it, love it, love it. Do a really, really nice, cinematic, like gorgeous one. Where's the food? Where's the food? Why aren't you doing the food? Where's the food? Where's the best food place? And I'm like, all right, the room's talking to me.
You got something there, yeah.
Right. So it's like, one of the things that we try to market with is like, hey, pay attention to the room. If you're doing something, it's like going into, you go to a bar, right? I equate life to like, social media is no different than the bar, right? You go into a restaurant or a bar, hang out with a group of people. If you're talking and they're all looking the other way, you're the loudmouth nobody wants to listen to, right? If you're telling a story and everybody's engaged and they want to listen and they want to interact with you, they want to be your friend, they want to buy you a drink, do that. Don't do the other thing, right? Don't be talking about yourself the entire time or whatever it is. So if you notice our stuff, we're never talking about ourselves. We're never pressing how great we are. Every once in a while, we might put something out there. It's a little pat on the back. But for the most part, it's always about the community, about highlighting other people, about doing all that. And we're going to lean into that. And people seem to love it and pay attention to us. And we're going to rock with it until they start paying attention to something else.
Yeah, I try and catch every single one. And I love them. I like almost want to like go out to the spots that I've never been to and just try their food.
Well, and that's a cool thing. Dude. Like we've had a couple people, more than a couple, but businesses that'll hit me up afterwards or shoot me to text or they'll post it on their Facebook and I don't even hear from them, but they'll say, dude, John came and did the pizza or the hot dog or the cheeseburger or whatever it was. And then we sold out of the cheeseburgers.
That's amazing.
For 2 weeks or for a week. And it's like, all right, dude, like, cool, man. We're helping that small business get a little push.
Yeah.
We're still doing our thing. We're branding ourselves. It's a win-win. Why wouldn't we?
It is a win-win.
So the room pays attention to it right now. Everybody seems to be into it. We'll continue to do it until maybe there's something else.
Do you have like a full or part-time like?
Yeah. So Josh is our in-house guy.
Guy.
He's with us.
Yeah.
A couple days a week with me, and we're out.
See, that was my issue too. Is like I make pretty good money, but it was like, all right, who do I hire? Where do I go?
Yep.
And it's like, well, this person can do X, Y, and Z, but can't, come out and shoot videos every single day.
Yep.
They can do the marketing on the Facebook and they can post some ads, but they couldn't do the videos every single day. So I was searching around for a little while and just, I forget how me and Noah linked up. It might have been like a referral on Facebook, but I mean, he's been amazing. I mean, I just from the first video that he posted to now, he's just like night and day. You can see like how
to
far
learn
he
each other a
progressed.
little bit and all that too.
You know what I mean? And it also helps him because he's networking with some of the people that I know, and it only gets him a little bit more business and but he works like a me and you would work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At 19 years old.
He's gonna blow up.
He's gonna set the world on fire, and that's what you need out of people nowadays. And it's just really tough to find that because a lot of people aren't motivated to work.
A lot of people that are aligned with you too, right? Like that can kind of see what you see and think the way you think. Like, when we started that, when I dove back into video, I was like, we need to outsource. And we had a company that we dealt with, New Pace Productions, which I can't speak higher about. Like Colin Bradley and JC Costa, these dudes are like, they're Delco guys, and they are, I mean, I love these two guys. And they worked with us in the beginning, and they were like, dude, they were awesome. And I would tell them what we're doing, and they're like, this is fucking crazy. You know that, right? And I'm like, yeah, trust me. And they did. And we rocked with that for a while. And their company is like, they're a great company, and they're built for the mid-level to really corporate like companies like that. They're built for that, and they do such a good job with that. And they were trying like hell to make it work for us because they loved what we were doing. Like they had our backs.
Yeah.
So we kept messing with it and trying to make it work. It was getting to the point where we needed more output, and they needed they needed to kind of have us fit their structure. And at the time, Josh was a freelancer they were using with us, and he started to really link up with us. And they were like, we talked. They're like, dude, listen, this kind of works for everybody. So, they gave us him as time went on, and we started using him solely. Now he's kind of like one of our guys.
One of just your in-house full-time
guys.
And that's where I was getting at with like Noah. It's like, it's like, all right, do I keep hiring all these little companies to come in, or do I just invest in that right person to then just come in and work full time? And he's still a college student. He's off for the summer or whatever. But so we're not as busy in the winter anyway. So it's not a big deal. But he still puts in almost 40 hours a week in the winter, even though he's not here every single day. He's still running around different job sites, editing, the time that it takes. I mean,
in between that, man, I was doing it myself. Like.
So I couldn't believe that Little Snuff does everything himself.
I was cutting and editing and
that even takes
all
a lot
of it, like the camera work, and I was doing everything, and that was like, it was burning candles at both ends. It wasn't going to work. So that's when Josh started helping with a couple things, and it was like, all right, well, let's just transition into this, and time will tell. But look, he does a great job.
He does. He does. I like a lot of those flybys. I know it does that for our project. The drone shots, and then the way he edits everything together. Does he shoot a lot of your Delco group stuff as well?
So and that's a cool thing about him. And New Pace was just like that too, man. Like both sets of people there that are they see what we do for the charity, and they're like, hey, we will never charge you for that. Like that's
awesome.
Because look, that charity is all volunteers, man. Like nobody makes money working for that. Nobody gets a paycheck. We're all just there on our own time. So when you got to go out and then say, all right, well, am I making a video, or how much time is that taking away from other things that we're trying to do? Those guys have been great about like, hey, we see what you're doing. We'll cut it. We'll shoot it. We'll put it out there.
I'm kind of upset we haven't had the football tailgate in a little while. I mean, it kind of just dwindled apart. I mean, it wasn't like a major thing, but I mean,
awesome.
I mean, between me, Lucy, Evan, and Fusto, I think we raised them as like $4,000 2 years in a row.
Awesome.
$4,000 each time we would do it, and it was great. And it was a time that hang out. I don't get to many games, but it was something to look forward to with my kids, and like just being down there and having all the people that you don't really see, come down and just have fun, just to raise some money. And again, it felt good. It felt good stepping away and winding down and going to a game. I love going to the football games. It's a great time. I think you need to do a car show. That would be dope.
That'd be like Frank would be in that.
Frank would definitely be.
It's funny. We've had our meetings, and they've gotten a lot better since we brought some women into the group.
But there's so many different crazy ideas.
There's a lot. And it's when it was all guys, it was just hilarious because it was like, I was trying to maintain order in a group of 11 ADD maniacs. But it has gotten better. But it's funny. We've always looked at, like, we have the Delco Open. Is there a second event that we would do to raise money? We've talked about things like that. We talked about, like, the gala style thing and making that fun.
I
It's
never
tough, though,
been. I
man.
never been to the prom.
So prom's just like a thank you night. Like that's so
Yeah.
And people will confuse them, but Selling Delco runs Delco Prom.
Yeah.
Right. So we used to raise a little bit of money there for the Delco group. It started, we would raise money and we would just do something for somebody before the Delco group existed. Now every once in a while we'll raise money for the Delco group at Delco Prom, but that's a thank you to all our clients. So, that night's, you gotta come. I mean, it is a blast.
Well, like my wife doesn't drink, so but she's like, oh, it seems fun, but
it's still fun.
I know, but every time I see that it's like about to happen, it's like the week before. I'm like, hey, do you want to go? Do you want to go? She's like, I don't really. She's not loving that like night kind of
night
that bar.
It's
party.
got like a vibe in one room where it's kind of more chill, sit down.
Yeah, I told her, I'm like, let's just go and just.
But it's fun, man, and it's a cool, like, people tell us, I can't. So many people come to us for that night specifically for Delco Prom, which is like, that's our way to say thank you to all the people that refer us, give us business, use us, all that. And that night, so many people come up to me and go, "This is our favorite night of the year," because they're like,
look forward to dressing up
and out.
And
they come out and just, it's like a blowout night. They don't have to worry about expense. We cover it. So like it's my, like, I got a lot of favorite nights, but it's one of my favorite nights is we get to mix it up and out on the dance floor. Everybody, it's like being at a wedding.
Yep, correct. Yeah, I have a white party every year, and it's just fun to just get together with people that you don't really see all the time and just have a blast. It's just a good time.
Life's too short.
Yeah, life's too short. When is the CL event?
So this year we do July 23rd.
Okay.
So it'll be at Kicks, July 23rd.
I think we will be down.
It's a Thursday, and I think we usually start at around 4, 5 o'clock. It's a good event, man.
I made the last
you were
two.
last year and the year before, right?
Yeah, last
so we,
two.
We usually do the T-shirts.
And I brought TJ, one of my best
awesome.
friends. Dude, he's the man. He's been like itching to come on, and one of our good friends just passed away. And he was supposed to come on that Tuesday, so he's been dealing with just the mess of that. But dude, he's the funnest guy.
He's awesome.
He is just the life of the party. He kind of reminds me of like a guy like you, just soft spoken and loves to hang out, loves to meet people, shake hands. That's how he's so successful.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean. He sits
really well.
He goes to Applebrook a couple times a week for dinner, and like he meets all these very, very wealthy people, and he's just communicating with them and shaking hands, and like he's built a hell of a company too.
It's a gift that's lost too, man. I always am a little nervous about like, how's that next generation going to be with that?
Yeah.
Are they able to go work a room like a guy like TJ or a guy like Frank or a guy like Mulholland?
Yeah.
Where
Frank's the same way.
They go and they can just come into a room and interact with everybody because, they're just, everybody's here now, man.
I know.
It's like, like how do you communicate and connect with somebody?
It's like, I don't even want to go on Facebook anymore, but I feel like I have to for the business.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd rather just shut everything down and just have no deal with it. But then again, it's like, how much business am I going to lose out on?
Yeah, it's not you then. So, it's funny, like we were talking about kids earlier, so I have 3. And my middle one, I think he's got a chance to be a special football player. We'll see. But, he's...
What's his name?
JJ.
JJ.
He's developing pretty well right now. And so to and from some of his workouts, like, I got to Uber. Like we're running, man. I'm always on the run. I got stuff going on.
Always moving.
So, he's 13. But he's big. He's like 6'1". So I'm like, yo, dude, you're hopping in an Uber. And like, everybody's like, oh, what if something happens? I'm like, dude, he's 6'1".
Uber's like the safest thing.
If anybody's taking him, he wants to be taken at this point. Like, so short story is I start pressing him. He's like, he don't want to take an Uber at first. I'm like, yo, not only are you taking an Uber, but you better learn about the Uber driver. Come home with information. So call him one down. Yo, dude, you're taking that Uber. And by the way, if you don't know where the Uber driver went to high school by the time you get home, you're grounded.
Yeah.
I'm taking your phone for a week.
Yeah.
So we're out to dinner that night. One of my buddies, Joe, we're sitting there, shooting the shit. Joe goes, dude, I was in an Uber driver the other day, and this guy's telling me he did this, this, and this, and he worked in, customs. I was like, hold on a second. I'm like, Jay,
where'd this go?
Where'd your Uber driver from yesterday go to high school?
Yeah.
And he's like, you see him panicking for a second, and he goes, Morristown High School in New Jersey. I was
That's
like,
great.
You asked him. Yeah. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, how'd you guys get there in the conversation? And he's like, huh?
You just
Like,
just
I said,
ask him
"Jay,
one question and then
how did you get to the point
Yeah.
where he went to Morristown High School?" And he starts he starts giggling like this. I'm like, dude, tell me you asked questions before you went. He's like, dude, there was 2 minutes left in the ride. I hadn't talked yet. So they were just driving down my street. He's like, so where'd you go to high school, man?
Yeah.
And then he got out of the car. But, you know,
I
forcing the talk a little
I
bit.
always beat up like just drill the Uber drivers. Like, how'd you get into this?
Yeah.
You know, some people are really nice. Some people are a little scary.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
some
not
they
gonna
don't wanna
lie.
talk, yeah.
Some people are a little scary. Me and TJ took a Uber home from Westchester one night, and TJ's like, "Yo, I am not getting dropped off at my house. We got dropped off at Duffer's, and then got another Uber from there to there. And he usually has his bus. He usually has a driver
he's
with
got
a
the
bus.
thing,
He's got the whole bus. But Sammy wasn't available that night. But it was like crazy. You don't know where some of these people come from. But then again, I want to do that all the time. My kids are a little bit too young to put in an Uber, but I want to do that all the time. They need to have like an Uber Kids where it's like but it's super safe. I feel like if you're gonna,
my daughter, a different story. My 13-year-old son, he's 6'1".
yeah, he's
like I said,
a grown man.
If he gets kidnapped, it's because he wants
he wants to get kidnapped. What's one of the toughest negotiations that you ever had selling real estate? Does that any like come to your head, ring a bell?
It's usually not necessarily a negotiation.
Like, do people try and negotiate? Like,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, now look, we're in a time frame now where a lot of the times for our buyers, we're not so much negotiating as we are figuring out how we can position them to be the one they choose. Right.
Yeah.
So that's been since COVID. You know, from a seller perspective, there's negotiations that are being left on the table, which is crazy to me because people don't hire with experience. Right. So they're just hiring somebody because it's their cousin or their family or their friend or whatever. And I watch 30, 50, $70,000 get left on the table.
Yeah.
You know, because they'll go in and they'll go, all right, we got all these offers. And they go, all right, we'll take that one.
Right away.
Well, did you talk to all those offers? Because guess what? One phone call, example, today before I got here, one phone call made my seller an extra $15,000 because I called each agent and said, I have this. Do you want to make any changes? And they were thrilled because they're usually not getting a call back. Mm-hmm. And then they came back and one buyer's willing to go $15,000 higher. My seller was thrilled. And, the other agents were like, all right, well, hey, we at least got a chance where they're not getting it. So, we see we're missed negotiation on the seller side right now. Buyer side is not as much negotiation. Yeah. That's starting to transition a little bit. For me, the biggest negotiations that have been like difficult are when you have like the major issue
with the house or something.
With the house or with the move or with like a loan that wasn't paid or whatever that no one knew about, right? That though, that's where you get that's where your worth is, So to me, I tell my team all the time, like when those things come up, because they come up often.
They do, yeah.
When that nightmare comes up, like I settle in. I like chaos. Like I enjoy chaos. I thrive in chaos. So to
makes
me,
you
it's
work a little harder too.
I get a little calm.
Yeah, you get a little calm.
Yeah, like I feel at home in it. And to me, it's like that's where, all right, who'd you hire? Because when you hire us and shit hits the wall, because it could. All right, well, let us settle in and we're going to fix the problem and hopefully get you out in even a better situation, or if not in the same situation you wanted to be, where, that person with no experience, good luck.
Yeah.
Like, good luck on how that goes. Yeah,
I mean, it's a little scary for me, like purchasing a property or a house. Yep. Like I have a couple different rental units and one I couldn't sell when I went to flip it.
Yep.
Because it was just, it's just on a busy street. Mm-hmm. And like for a new family with kids, you probably don't want to be on the street.
Yep.
I mean, the Home Depot delivery driver got T-boned when he was bringing the dolly into the for the material for the drywall, and like getting that phone call, I was like, oh damn, this street sucks. So like it does, but then I'm like, just keep it, have some passive income, and I've been fortunate enough to have only one renter in there that did paid me on time, did very well, and then I found another renter and it's doing amazing.
Yeah.
I just put in an offer on a property up in Westchester where it has 4 Section 8 homes out front.
Okay.
So that's a done deal.
Yeah.
It's like they just accepted the offer. We're going through all the due diligence stages, but for me, it's also like really weird because I don't know those certain due diligence parts that I need to have. Like, am I going to be able to use outdoors? Am I going to be able to store stuff outdoor? Well, it's in a floodplain, so I don't really know those things.
Yeah.
So, the listing agent is working with Don Dale, who's a commercial real
Yep.
estate guy,
Yep.
and Don's a good friend of mine, and I kind of just put two and two together that they knew each other, and I'm like, Don, talk to this guy Tommy and just make sure apples to apples. Like I can
Yeah.
I can
It's
do
the way you want it.
exactly
Yep.
what this guy's doing that owns the property now.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I wanted a couple more rental units, and it was just I was sitting on Zillow one. I found
Yep.
found the lot. It was only on there for 20 days. They had one offer come in, but it was just an LOI. It wasn't anything serious. And I'm like, dude, I want this property. I want to be serious about it. Submit the offer at full asking, and
Lock
we'll
it
just
up.
lock it up.
Yep.
And we did. So I don't move in until November, but I think that's going to be life changing for me. But it's scary though, buying a property if you don't know
Yeah.
if you don't know much about the
There's a level
real
of
estate
risk.
game, you
Yeah.
know. But I've been pretty fortunate and lucked out on a few of the different flips that we've done and that I have now. I just I don't have time. It's a lot.
It's hard, man.
It is hard.
It's a time-consuming game, and look, it's about having people that are honest on the other end with you, because you have somebody that you trust there, right? Like having people that, unfortunately, in my industry, there's a large section that they're just worried about the check.
Yeah, and if one real estate agent looks over something
Yeah.
or doesn't do his job, I mean, it could cost a
Look,
family their house. Or
everybody can make the mistake. The question is, do you have somebody there that's being honest and forthright with what they see, and do they know it? If they don't know it, then how are they advising you?
I
how are
think
they
that's the
giving you good
smartest
advice?
thing though about your videos. Like people get to know you personally
Yeah.
through your videos,
Yep.
and then they feel like they know you when you pick up the phone, when they pick up the phone to call you.
That's 90% of the point. You know what? You work with people you know, like, and trust, right? People come out and meet with me, or they'll run into me somewhere and introduce themselves, and they're like, "Dude, you're just like you are."
I don't think they can
on
miss
camera.
you though. You're like,
Like,
6'2",
6'4", yeah.
6'4".
Like people, will be
They're
like,
like, I know that guy.
with the mullet,
Yeah.
But like people will be like, "Oh, dude, you're just like you are," and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to act different. Like, I'm not, I want you to see the exact same person that's going to come to your living room and be
correct. That's what Noah tries to train me when I started doing the videos. He's like, just be you and talk to the camera like you're talking to your best friend.
Yep.
And it's kind of helped me, but I do need to get back on camera a little bit more, Noah. My son's been going to town. We've just been busy, but like I can't push it off.
No.
And that's what you were saying earlier. Like you just got to do it. Just do it. Do it.
And to Noah's point, man, like, look, I got, I've been fortunate enough to speak at a lot of different events and things like that, especially about the social media and the branding and all that, because that's the thing I think we do really well. And it sounds like a cocky line when it's first said, but I don't think it is. It's authentic. Is like people say, well, what about this? What about that? I'm like, dude, just be you. Like, because guess what? I'm better at being me than any motherfucker out there. I'm the best at being me. Because that's who I am. The second I try to be you, or I try to be Frank,
be somebody else,
it doesn't work. And then everybody sees that and they feel it because you're trying to do something that's not you. Like, just be you. And the people that don't like you, they were never going to like you.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter what they think either.
It doesn't matter what they think. Like, it doesn't. So.
I got to get Frank on here. I got to ask him too. I think he would be good to have on. Like,
he's great.
My cousins love him.
He does a great job.
He sells the most amount of cars on on the East Coast here.
So he's
like, is he the top sales?
I think at one point he was top in the country. He's done looking at that. Like he don't even care about that anymore. But if you ever go to him and
he's a legend.
You go through his process.
I just bought a car.
I bought a pizza faster or slower than I bought a car. I'm
It's
never
nuts.
there more than 15 minutes. Everything's done.
Yeah.
I know there's no bullshit. Like he's mastered. And look, Frank does a great job with social. He does a great job with his charisma and all the other things. But he's mastered the process, man. Like his process is better than anybody.
Yeah, he's got the guy that's putting on the tags, that's checking the registration, making sure everything's good. He's got the lady in the office doing all the paperwork. You come in, shake a hand, take a picture, and he's like, all right, see, I'm like, where'd Franco? I'm like, what?
He's on it.
I'm like, what?
Flying around the next
but
one,
I talked to my cousin Vinny, where I was just at Vinny's house taking down a tree for him the other day, and I did the estimate, and we were talking about Frank, and he's like, I love that guy, Frank. And then I talked to Tony. Tony is the youngest brother of the Piazzas, and I seen Tony in there that day. I was picking up the Cadillac. And Tony's like, yeah, Frank's good, huh? I'm like, he's the best. He's the best. Like, I don't want to buy another car from anyone else. We bought a couple sales cars from him. And, it's just, ironically, he had the Cadillac Escalade. My wife needed a new car, and I was upside down on her Mercedes. I can't stand that Mercedes, but I was upside down on it. He's like, "Look, here's the best deal." I'm like, "Can you hit up my cousin, see if there's anything you can do back?" He's like, "You hit him up." So I hit up Tony. But I mean, I don't look for anything for free. I just wanted I wanted a good deal. You know, I wanted a good deal. I'm in sales, so you know, try and get a better deal there. Like, one more question. I mean, I appreciate you coming out, dude. It's like I said, it's awesome to be able to sit down with entrepreneurs and businessmen like yourself and just kind of beat it up a little bit. What's one of the craziest things you found during like a home showing? Like,
So, all right.
you know exactly what it is because you laughed.
Yeah, well, listen, there's a couple. I mean, I've had some crazy ones.
I'm sure you've had.
One of my funnier ones though is, older couple, like older. And when I was younger in the business, I could have way more fun with it. Then there was the period where I was trying to build. Now I'm back to having fun. So like both of those, like, so, but this is when I was on the younger side of it. And, I didn't really, I wasn't afraid to mess with anybody. I walked through a settlement walkthrough, older couple selling the house. I got a younger couple buying the house, and there's one box left. Like, they just left a box. And typically if it's stuff that's left, usually I'll get a trash, but it was a box that could have had some important stuff in it. So I'm like, I'll bring it to closing. So I grab the box and I look in the box, and in the box was a vibrator, but it was so old.
It was so dusty.
It was made by General Electric.
Oh
That's how old this vibrator was.
You don't want to get electrocuted.
It was a woman's vibrator with a long ass plug, and it was made by General Electric. I'm thinking to myself, when did General Electric get out of the vibrator business? But
the year they started, because they were electrocuted.
I said to my clients, I'm like, yo, I'm going to bring this in the settle. I'm like, hey, you left this box here because it was sitting on the top. My clients were like, please don't.
Could you imagine, like, why would they, like, she had to know it was in there.
You probably just forget. When you're moving, there's a lot of moving parts, but you forget.
You forget the
But
only box.
The fact that box was sitting on the top, I'm like, dude, GE
That's
made vibrators. That's amazing.
That's hilarious. Oh, dude, thank you so much for
problem,
coming in, brother.
Appreciate
I appreciate everything.
It's awesome.
Thank you.